So today I thought I'd do a Nitto Trail Grappler tire review. So I kind of thought right now would be a good time to do that. I've got a brand new set I just put on just a few weeks ago. Really like the tires, so I thought I'd go over and kind of tell you my thoughts on them and how they've worked for me, and just some of the experiences I've had with them. So I thought I'd talk about how I ended up running the Nitto Trail Grapplers. So when I first bought my Jeep in 2018, I was getting ready to lift it and put 37-inch tires on. Everybody was running the Nittos, so I was kind of like, well, everybody's doing that, I'm going to do something different. So I was looking at a couple other different brands. I don't even remember the brands now, but anyway, the dealership I bought it, they're the ones that put the original lift on it, which is the metal cloak, before I've turned it into what I have now. But anyway, so the accessory person there kind of talked me into going with the Nitto Trail Grapplers, which I'm kind of glad she did, because there's a reason why so many people run them. But anyway, so that's kind of what got me started off on the Trail Grapplers, the Nittos, and I've been real happy with them since I put them on that original time back in 2018. The tires I'm running now are a 40 by 13.5 by 17. And this is the second set of those that I've run. So I've run 3 different sets. I've run 37s. I ran them, I think I had them on the Jeep I think I had about 24,000 miles, give or take a little bit. The last set, I think Jeep had about, I think I put, was probably close to 30,000 on them. And now I've got this brand new set, which I just put on a few weeks ago. And I've always run them on a beadlock wheel. When I bought my Jeep, I was planning on doing the rock crawling, and I wanted to be able to run low pressure. I plan on doing, going up in the snow. We've done that quite a bit with my brother's TJ, and it's fun. It's fun to be able to go up in the snow and go low enough air pressure you can kind of stay up and keep going. But anyway, so run 3 sets. Super happy with the traction that I was able to get with them. So when I put this set of 40s on, I actually kind of partially broke them down and then put the new tires on, the beadlocks, and got them all ready and took them into the local tire shop there, not too far from where my brother lives. And one of the things that I'd heard a lot about, and even in my experience since I've had them, is when you're on the road or the highways, they run really smooth, especially for a 40-inch tire. I remember when I put the first set of 40s on, I did the coilover and 1-tons and all the stuff that I did. The guy that actually did the work on it, he took it out and drove it, and he come back and he goes, man, that thing rides super good. Doesn't feel like you're running on 40s. And that's partially the Jeep too, but the tires just are really smooth. And when I was putting them on, this new set, we took them back over to get them balanced, and he didn't even have to put much weight on them. They were actually come pretty balanced, all 4 of them. Actually, all 4 of them, yeah. And so that I've never gotten any vibration or anything like some of the other tires I've run on my trucks that were mud tires and stuff. But these have been really smooth. Another thing that I really like on the highway is they're quiet. They're probably I would say they're the quietest mud tire that I've ever run on the highway. And even, some of the other brands, they'll be fairly quiet at the beginning. Some of them aren't, but some of them are. But as they wear, they get, and there's one particular brand that I ran on my pickups a lot, my diesels, and they'd start out, they weren't bad, not bad on far as loudness, but by the time you got to the end of the life or partway through it, sometimes they would just howl. They were loud, super loud. The Nittos, in my experience, have never been that way. They'll get a little louder than they are right now, but they're just never really loud. When I put this new set on, driving out here and in different places, I'm going down the highway, 65, 70 miles an hour, and I'm just like, I'm pretty amazed at how quiet they are. You almost really can't hear them. You wouldn't realize you're running a mud tire. So that's something that's been really nice, especially this big of a tire. I mean, those are some big lugs on there. If they were loud, you'd definitely hear them. So anyway, so those are some of the things I liked on the road. They just handle good. They're quiet. I've done really well as far as getting traction and just everything. They're just really good for a mud tire. So the tread design, it's a pretty luggy a tread. You don't really have much siping on it. You have one kind of a sipe through each lug, which, if you're going to be in snow and stuff like that, I'm sure it would be better to have more than that. But that's not really what I bought them for. If you have too much siping, I've siped some of my other mud tires on my pickups for wintertime, and yeah, the traction's amazingly better in the snow. But if you get them in the rocks, it just tears them up. So for what this built is built for, I mean, yeah, you wouldn't want a whole bunch. In my opinion, I don't think you'd want a whole bunch of siping. But there's enough that, I mean, I've never had any problem with traction or anything, even on the roads. They've done pretty good on the snow. As they got worn, they were a little more slick, especially these big tires on the snow, but new, I didn't really notice any problems. So let's talk about the rocks now. So I've had all the sets. I've even had this set up in the rocks once already. That's where I was extremely impressed of how durable they are. I mean, the sidewall on these, I mean, you can put them through all kinds of stuff and they just hold up. And the traction that you're able to get, I think it's must have a little bit of a lower or a softer compound, because they grip good. But I've had the last set of 40s that I had, there was one of the trails I was running, and I was going up and my back tire got up on a big rock and it started to climb, and it actually folded, because I think I was running about 8 pounds of pressure, folded the tire in a way that it pinched the sidewall of the tire between I don't even know how it did it, but between the beadlock and a rock. And I was looking out my door, looking at that going, oh, wow, is that gonna hold? I mean, I got the whole weight at the back corner of the Jeep on that, and it's completely cutting into between the rock and cutting into the beadlock ring, and it held it. I ran it for a long time after that. It held, not an issue. So that's something that, very impressed. These things will take abuse. I mean, you can really abuse them and they'll hold up. Yeah, it's just amazing how good they do in the rocks and how well they perform. And that's kind of what sold me on the Nittos after I had them for a little bit, is just how tough and how good a traction I was getting. So anyway, now let's move to the snow. And I've wondered how they do, because my brother, he had a TJ, he still has his TJ, but we used to take that up in the snow years ago a lot, and he was running a pair of or a set of they're 37-inch tires. I think they were Cooper, but I don't remember. But it was an older design. It's not the ones they have now. And that thing did really good in the snow. I mean, it performed really well. And then later he went to a different one, which I'm not going to name names or brands, but and that was the year that I bought. Actually, it was the next year after I bought the Silver. I think it was 2019. We went up playing in the snow, and it didn't do as well. So the tread pattern does make a difference on how well you can do in the snow. And I'm talking spring snow wheeling. When in the spring, when the snow's settled some, and you're able to air down and stay up on top, at least for the most part. It didn't do well. And so when he got his Gladiator, of course, he put these on, and of course, it's awesome. But that's one of the things, even with the 37s, right, the first year I took them out and we were in the snow, they did awesome. And then since then, went to a 40, and even with the heavier weight, the 1 tons and all the stuff, and even this year with my rooftop tent on, still performed, amazingly in the snow. And the set that I had, and that was with a set that was over half worn out, and they still did really well. So, super happy, super impressed with you know, the way they've worked so far in the snow. I've done a little bit of the, like during the winter when it's powder, and what I've done really well. My brother, a couple of winters ago, he went up with a group of guys, and they were in snow. It was so deep, it was crazy, and they did really well for him. Yeah, so I'm happy with them and how well they've performed in the snow. Been in a little bit of sand, not a lot of sand, but they seem to float real well. I don't know why they wouldn't, just like, you know, they did in the snow. But yeah, so they've done extremely well in all those things that I've had them in. I've had them in the mud as well. I don't like mud, so I don't go looking for it. If I'm in the mud, it's because it's, you know, I'm going somewhere and it's muddy. I don't go to go find the mud. I don't like mud. It gets in everything. It's hard to, you know, it just takes forever to get out of everything. So I generally try to stay out, but I have been in mud because sometimes you're on trails and you get in the mud, and they performed extremely good. They clean out really well. With these tires that stick out as far as they do, yeah, if you're going, you don't even have to be going very fast, and it's throwing it all over your Jeep, so you have to go really slow if you don't want just to be covered. But, so I have been really impressed. I'm happy with them. I'm happy with them on the road. I'm happy with them in the mud. I'm happy with them in the rocks, the snow, the sand. They performed really good for me. They take abuse like I've never seen a tire take abuse. I wouldn't run, I mean, I'm sure there's other tires out there that are good, but and in my opinion, this is what I'll run. They've worked so well for me, there's no reason to change from this. They've worked so well for me. I've got another Jeep I'm building, and I've put Nittos on them as well. Hopefully that'll be being done. It's all but done being built. They're just got a couple things wrapping up. But yeah, I'm running Nittos on them, which once I get that out, you'll see what what size and all that. But I'm excited to be able to get that out and drive it and just to see how it works. But of course, it's got the 392 Hemi in it, so it's gonna be fun. I bought the second one. My son he got his driver's license. It's been over a year ago now, but it'll make it fun for us if we want to go back into places, by ourselves, way back in. It just makes it more fun. We could go to the rocks and the trails, and safer, taking both Jeeps. But so I'm excited to get that out, see how it performs. Really excited to see how everything works with that 392 Hemi in it. I've used it when it was stock, pulling my little turboback trailer and stuff, and I love the power. So we'll see how much it changes. We'll see how much it affects that once I get it all done and start using it. So that's my thoughts and opinion on the Nitto Trail Grappler tire. But yeah, it's a good tire. I'm really super happy with it. I'm super impressed with how well it's done. So if you got something out of the video and you want to see some more adventures, we like to play in the rocks. We do a bit of camping, snow when the snow's around, just a little bit of everything. And we've got more adventures in the future coming here soon. So hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one.